Okay, thank you for having us. I'm Jackie Johnston, and I'm the Director of Community and Area Learning Center Programs. I run all of the Area Learning Center programs in our district in addition to Community Ed. This is Susana De Leon. She's the principal of the After-School Area Learning Center programs and Middle School Targeted Services. She's going to do most of the presentation, but I wanted to just do a little bit. I think at the last session we forgot to tell people what Eastern Carver County Schools, where it's located, and it's actually Chaskatchan, Carver, and Victoria. We are about 53,000 people that live in our district. Our school is a little over 9,000 students. And people think, well, it is a white flight district, I'll admit that, but we have seen a real change in our demographics, and in the last 10 years we've gone from about 8% students of color to about 23%. We've gone from about 12% for reduced lunch to about 28%. So our district is rapidly changing, and we're seeing a lot of needs. Our district motto is personalized learning for everyone, and so that's what we're going to talk about today.
So the other two districts focused on one group or one program that they're offering. We're going to talk about many different things, and we're just going to skim through them because we're focusing our presentation on our overall structure and system that we've put in place in the last 3 years. And similar to the previous two districts, our belief is that in order to close the achievement gap, we need to not just focus what's happening between the school walls or even the walls within our district, but to reach out to the community and to parents and bring them in to our district to share resources and skills. And we have to also look at our typical model when we have a struggling student is to put them more into academic time. So more math, more reading, more language skills, and all of that academic time is needed. But we've learned that we need to add more to that component. There has to be an enrichment piece. There has to be a social emotional piece. There has to be relationship building, team building, in order for the student to really connect. So we have to ask ourselves a few questions before we decide what we're going to do. And one of those questions is what makes a student tick? What makes that student motivated to want to learn and to want to seek and improve those skills? What skills does the student need? And what resources do we have to provide help to reach those needs? What are the barriers within their school or our school system that's preventing that student to grow? And what are the barriers within the community and the home that's preventing that student to grow? And what are the resources within our school, within our district, within the community that we can offer that student to reach their goals? And so in order to answer all those questions, well, we need several components. And those major components is funding and people. So these are our funding streams currently. We have a few grants, 21st Century Grant right now in partnership with our Southwest Metro Co-op and supporting a lot of our programming that we're going to show you in a few minutes. Community education helps us a lot with resources in terms of scholarships and trainings and resources. Our targeted services, obviously, an area learning center. We have an ICAP grant that's helping some programming that we're doing with our high schools. Laura Musser Fund to bring in international harmony in our schools, or intercultural, excuse me. We have SHIP. We're using that grant for some health and nutrition programming that we offer, again, within our academic programming, and our early childhood. So in every program that we have established so far to reach our students, we have an academic component, we have enrichment, social emotional, relationship building, team building. Very key in all of our programming. So this is our staffing structure. So we have our community ed director, we have our ALC manager, our early childhood and special ed manager that works with us, and myself, the ALC supervisor. Then we have our community ed staffing, and a very important component to that in the blue is our 7 intercultural specialists. They are key to everything that we do. We have our youth development intervention specialist. We have 4 AmeriCorps Promise Fellows that works with our Check and Connect program, and we have 9 Minnesota Reading Corps members that help in our elementaries. And then we all work together with K-12 system. So our early childhood, and Jackie would talk a little bit about that.
So our early childhood program components, one of the things that we have been doing is it's called ECFE on Wheels. And basically our early childhood program goes to our 4 low-income housing areas and on-site provides an ECFE component. And that's been really well received. Trying to break that barrier of transportation and connection. You know, we always expect people to come to us, but we really go to the families. Learning Zone is the same kind of concept, except that it incorporates adult basic education for the parents, as well as targeted services for school-age kids, because it's in the evening and it's at a neighborhood, low-income neighborhood. We also use school readiness dollars and pathway scholarships to increase our participation for early childhood programs. Family literacy is, again, our adult basic education and early childhood programs together. And then we run a program for older 4-year-olds and young 5-year-olds. We call it Kindergarten Connection.
So in our elementary, through our targeted services funds, we have our Academic Explorers program. Each elementary, we have 8 of them, have a program that's focused on the needs of that school. So again, there's an academic enrichment team building time for that. Math and reading is our focus. The Learning Zone, which Jackie just spoke about, this is a very unique program. There's 3 parts to that program. So our families come in, they drop off their school-age children in one classroom, their toddlers and preschoolers in another for childcare, and then they go and work with our EL instructor to learn English. So it's a really neat concept, and it's in the evening from 5 to 7. Funky Minds Connection, it's a program in one of our communities where they meet kids from kindergarten all the way through high school, and the high schools serve as interns, and they come in and work with the elementary youth on academic help and that enrichment piece as well. Our community ed helps us with accessibility, so scholarships and resources when it comes to enrichment. Our Minnesota Reading Corps members, like I said, there's 1 in every elementary school. Our summer, just like Academic Explorers, we have a Summer Explorers program that serves about close to 400 students. And similar to the previous district, we have that academic and enrichment component as well. We have STEM and reading, language arts, and math. Celebrate Summer is a very unique program. So when our kids go to Summer Explorers in the morning from 8 to 2:15, right after school, they go into their community. There's 4 very concentrated low-income communities in our district. And 1 day a week, we have programming there for students. So they get off the bus, they get a quick snack, and then we have partners that come in and do a variety of different activities with our kids. And then they receive supper as well. So they receive breakfast and lunch during summer school, and then they get to their community and they receive supper, and all through our grant funding. School year middle school, we have Achieve, similar to Academic Explorers, but Achieve is for the middle school. We have 3 of them, 3 middle schools, and they offer the same philosophy, also that team building, relationship building, academic time. Our Academy program is our School Within Our School ALC program in our middle school. So we have a cohort of students that travel together for math, reading, and science, and then they have a seminar class which focuses on study skills. Our community ed, again, helping us with accessibility and resources, and we offer Check and Connect. We have about close to 300 or so mentees, and we have staff and Promise Fellows that work as mentors, and our staff who are mentoring range from anywhere from teachers to custodial staff. During our summer, we have Summer Bridge. So we have Monday through Thursday, again, academic time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, through our grant funding, we have partners that come in and do cooking, art, Aztec dancing. Last summer, we had Aztec dancing through math, and they were doing this really, really neat thing called warrior training. Our 21st century programs are embedded in our summer school as well. For our 8th grade group, 8th through 12th grade group, right after summer school, they went into our cooperative and they did some career camps on a variety of different things. For our high school, we have what we call Salute. So when a student is on the verge of dropping out and they feel they have nowhere else to go, or they're really behind on credits, and the counselors have tried everything in their power to try to create a program within their school, and the student is still adamant about not finishing, they contact Salute, and it's our department, and we sit down with the student and the parent, and we formalize an individualized plan. And we have several programs that we can put them into. So it could either be our alternative school, which is our Integrated Arts Academy. It could be our 17 to 21 program. We're working on an online program currently. Or it could be just as simple as credit attainment after school or summer school. So depending on what the student needs. Or it could be an outside source. Our whole goal is just to keep the kid in our system so that they can get a diploma. Our 21st century programs have been amazing. We had some issues going on in our high schools after school because students who were struggling academically typically cannot afford to attend community ed classes, or they're not in a structured sport or activity. So they wanted to stay after school, hang out with their friends, but it was creating problems. They were getting into fights or vandalizing schools, or there was a lot of detentions, a lot of suspensions, etc. So through our 21st century programming, we've been able to offer a variety of different programming. We surveyed our kids, figured out what they were interested in, and have been able to offer those programs with transportation. So right after school, they hop on the bus and they go to different locations to play soccer, culinary class, or art, or music. That in itself has dropped the suspensions dramatically, and the behaviors have improved. Our ICAP grant has helped us with our first generation college going students. So we have targeted 40 students that our intercultural specialists have been working with. And they have been visiting colleges, they have been attending different seminars and really targeting those students. The Mexican consulate has come and talked to our students and our families about opportunities for them. Navigate has come in and talked to our families about opportunities for undocumented students and the opportunities that they have post-secondary, so that families are feeling that there is an option for them. Through our Laura Muser Fund, we have had intercultural experiences for our students. One of our main components here is our Multicultural Clubs. Again, our students, because it's highly a white community, they were feeling isolated and alone. Through these Multicultural Clubs, we've been able to have some sort of platform for them to voice concerns, issues, or even just embrace their culture and their heritage and show that to their school community. So we started with one at one of our high school, and now we have a multicultural club in every secondary school. So again, for summer for high school, we have obviously credit attainment for them to attend summer school. Our 21st century programs has been amazing as well. So right after summer school, right after credit attainment, they hop on a bus and again, participate in an enrichment course, whatever their interest was based on our survey. And again, the ICAP grant for summer, for those 40 targeted students, we've been able to provide last summer a financial management class so that they know how to handle the finances once they enter that post-secondary level. And a really cool one was cooking on a budget. So once they're there and they are in a dorm or maybe living alone or whatever the situation is, they know how to cook on a budget. So that was kind of neat. Adult education and parent support. So we strongly feel that we need to connect parents in order to close the achievement gap. So our intercultural specialists are a key component to this because they are the ones that are going out there, reaching out to families and know what the concerns are. So we have a parent connection team. We started it this past year. Right now it's just a Somali group of mothers with our Somali intercultural specialists. And our goal is, what our intercultural specialist has been doing is, she started this group to build a relationship, to build community, but she's slowly bringing in district personnel, principals, superintendent, etc., to have these conversations with our groups so that they feel empowered and feel that they can go out into the schools and have a conversation and no longer be afraid that they're not going to be heard. So slowly, she's been integrating them into our school district or into the schools. Our goal is to have other groups. Right now, it's just that one. We have ECFI on Wheels, which Jackie already mentioned. Coffee with the Principal is a more mixed group. Again, our intercultural specialists facilitate those conversations, and they go to principals, have coffee, bring in our Hispanic population, our Somali population, our Asian population, and again, just to give them a voice. Because our intercultural specialists have built those strong relationships with our families of color, our families feel connected to them and they don't want to reach out, and we're trying to cut the umbilical cord so that they can slowly get out and reach out and voice their opinions and feel like they're being heard. With that, we're also training staff so that they feel comfortable to have those conversations with someone who is different than them and speak a different language than they do. Our parent ed and adult basic programs also are accessible to our families. Our intercultural specialist support also bringing in resources in terms of local community resources, food, healthcare, etc., or linking them, families, to the experts of where those resources are. We have a newsletter that goes out, and again, this was based on some focus group conversations that we've been having, because a lot of our information is obviously all in English. So what we've done through our focus groups with families is figured out what are the topics that are of most interest to them. So we talk to different departments from all over the district, gather information, and then we have it in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and Somali, and it goes out 3 times a year. And it's concentrated basically on topics of their interest and what they want to know. It would be perfect world to translate everything. It's hard. So that's what we've tried to do. Accessibility to community ed programming. So even in our community ed catalog, based on those focus groups and based on their interests, we've translated certain sections of the community ed catalog, again in Spanish and Somali. The partnership with the Mexican consulate has been huge. They come out, I believe it's 3 times a year, and we have community dialogues. And basically they are just here to, give them those resources. What are those opportunities out there that they have access to? Because we are in Chaska and they are in St. Paul, it's hard for our families to travel. So we try to bring everything to them. So that's our whole philosophy, bringing things to where they are, and then facilitating so that they can start coming in to us, because that's ultimately what we want, to be integrated. So one of our contributions to professional development for the district is a cultural competency component. We noticed that in our K-12 system, that was the system, or that was the topic that was missing. So that has been our contribution. So one of those is workshops open to all staff. So we have it, I believe how often, I don't know, remember how often it is, but we have Somali, Asian, Hispanic, different cultures, and we open it up to community. So not just staff can attend, but anyone in the community can come and hear this presentation. We have cultural cohort going on right now with our clerical staff, because one of the things that we also notice is that when families come in to the front office of any school or any office in our district, they don't know how to handle it. So we're having those cultural conversations with our clerical staff, and this was by invitation. So no one's forced to do it. It's all by invitation, and it's going very well. Training's embedded in the professional development. So oftentimes myself or our intercultural specialists are asked to come in to a professional development day on those late starts or whatever with our staff and bring in those intercultural conversations. 2 minutes. And then we have our instructional coaches working with us during their summer programming to continue that academic support. So our impact, right now we're in the process of finalizing our data. We're on year 3. And so we hope to gather this information, what we're doing in early ed, is it affecting middle school and high school and post-secondary. Our district is also going through the process of a study through the District Management Council. So right now we're gathering a bunch of information. So we didn't want to give out numbers yet because we're in the process of collecting that information. We hope it'll look good, but we are seeing some improvements through observations. Just in the behavior and engagement of students has been amazing, and families as well. And these are our partners.